Sorry, I just paused for a random 2 seconds because Zoom is glitchy. Anyway, welcome back to the Life and Lessons of Me. I'm your host, me or Jordan. Um, so today I want to bring attention to the fact that I missed last week. I was feeling not so great, and my voice was a little trippy. So that's why I'm making this episode on Wednesday, and I believe I will probably be making one on Friday as well because um, I'm, you know, determined to, keep putting out content. But today I want to talk about um, a form of comparison to other people. And I've said before that comparing yourself to others is bad. And it is in the sense that like comparing yourself thinking you're less than somebody else, like because you have to know your own self-worth. Um, so anyway, I'm talking about a post that I saw on Instagram recently. And the post was saying how you shouldn't, say to people that somebody has it worse than you do. And they were saying that saying somebody has it worse than you was taking away from your acknowledgement of your own issues. It was saying you're validated and your issues are real. And I think those are two unrelated things. Comparing yourself in that sense, saying somebody's got it worse than you, that is totally different than validation of your problems. Okay. And it's important to me because look at me. I am in a wheelchair. My life is going well right now and it feels really good, hence why I'm so hyped up right now. It feels good to have your life going the right direction, but even for me, I have it better than some people. Like you might think in your head that you have the worst possible scenario happening to you ever. Like you're the only one that's going through this. You're the only one that has these issues. And if you say somebody has it worse than you're not saying that your problems aren't real. You're trying to give that person perspective. Okay. And that's the whole point of this podcast is perspective, right? Being able to empathize with people and put yourself in their shoes and maybe see the world in a little bit of a different way. That is the point of the podcast. And so I'm grateful that all of you are listening to me telling you this because it's something that I've been through myself. I went to MDA camp like 4 years ago, because of COVID. I already graduated from camp pre-COVID, so that didn't matter. But I went to camp, right? And it's a muscular dystrophy association camp, right? So there's people with all kinds of different muscle diseases at this camp. And I'm in relatively good shape for somebody with my disease in the first place. But even for me, comparing myself to other situations, here's why this is helpful. If you're me, right, I'm mostly a positive person, right? These people who are, they're kids. They have all kinds of different disabilities, and some of them can't even move, right? I'm like, I can move. And these kids are great kids. Like you get to talking to them and you realize they're just like everyone else. And they have this like awful scenario happening to them. And they're just like everyone else. They're living life to the fullest, and I think it's so important to be able to realize this, that people with the worst possible situations that you can imagine are generally, more okay with life, right? Doesn't make sense, does it? I can't explain to you why this would be. Maybe because they've been told all their life that they're going to eventually, not be around, right? They go to the doctor. The doctor says you're getting worse every single time. How does that make you feel? Makes you feel crappy, kind of. But these kids who are worse than me, I remember one kid in particular. His name is Pete. Love that kid. He was a really, really great kid. And he passed away when he was 13. And it was surprising to me, like everybody. It really put it into perspective. Like, we're not here forever. We don't even know when we're going to make it to, you know? So we need to live life to the fullest, right? Stop focusing on our problems, focus on the good stuff. And I'm not saying don't acknowledge that your problems exist. You need to face them, but you need to face them now rather than wait, because you don't know how long you got, right? You have to face your issues, and comparing yourself, saying that somebody has it worse than you, is not lack of validation for your own problems. Okay. Like I said, totally different subject area. Like, look at me. I'm in a wheelchair, right? I can't drive yet. I can't take a crap by myself. I can't get in the shower by myself. Look, if you have emotional problems, lots of people can't see them. And I know it's hard to like face those, but look at me. I have physical, like outwardly, I look normal, but obviously I'm in a wheelchair. So people notice that and they go, oh, he has something wrong with him. Yes, I do. But I didn't always look like this. I looked normal. I had, from the years of, I don't know, 6 to 10, nothing really looked like the matter was with me. That was grammar. Nothing looked like, there was an issue. There was no outward signs other than the fact that I was slower than everybody and I walked on my toes. Those are the two things that I looked different. So like, then I went to middle school and I used a scooter and people started to notice, and then I switched to the wheelchair and people are like, wow, what's going on? And back then I would get so awkward and hate talking about, Duchenne or anything to do with it. I would get flustered and I just hated it. But now I love talking about it because I've embraced it. That's the thing. In order to face your problems, you need to embrace them and be like, this is who I am. I can't change it. And let's roll with it, literally in my case. Just keep on keeping on, life sucks until it doesn't. That's what I've noticed. It's like life right now could not be better. It could not be headed in a better direction right now, and I believe that I've been through the hardest 2 years of my life up to this point, right? Having to switch colleges, having to, work really hard in school to not be, put on a bad academic standing, right? Starting the podcast, learning how to drive. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. And a lot of times you can't see the end of the road. And I don't think you're supposed to, it's not as fun, right? Okay, fun might be the wrong word there, but you go through everything. Yeah, you can't see where it's ending, right? And you feel like, oh, woe is me. Nothing goes my way, right? But then when it starts to do that, you're like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Like it sucks. The waiting sucks. And that's why when it happens, it's so much better. I wouldn't change it for a thing. No, I would do it all over again. Obviously, sometimes I wish that I was normal, but what is normal anyway? There's no such thing as normal anymore. Everyone needs to realize that everyone is still working on it. Like I've noticed that adults who are far older than me, my mom's age, like 45 to 50, they don't know what they're doing either. They're all just still figuring it out. I'm like, okay, then we're not all that different, and I think the fact that I'm almost 20 has made me realize this, that we're all the same in some aspect. We're all figuring it out. We don't know. Life is confusing. There's no life handbook. Okay. Life is about how you react, I think, to, adversity. Right. So like, if you go through a lot of adversity in your younger years, like I have, it makes you grow up really quickly. It makes you become more mature. It gives you an advantage, to have faced higher adversity, like more issues. Like, so basically, I think you should say, somebody has it worse than you, because it gives people perspective. Like I said before, like it makes you realize hey, there is a way out. I'm not trapped in this awful mental space, right? There is for sure a way out of this. And I think, me talking about mental health has become, a big goal of mine for this podcast is to, make people aware that mental health needs to be talked about a lot more, and because my own mental health, I've been working on it and I'm in a really decent headspace right now. There's a few things I still have to work on, trust me. But getting there. My car stuff is working out. This is huge news, by the way. Yeah, so I figured out that there's this foundation that I thought I missed the deadline for that will pay for half of my car. Okay, so we need to raise about 50 grand ish. Start a GoFundMe. I'll try and include the link in the description. I think they will let me do that, but or I'll put it on my Instagram. So go check it out on Instagram if you wish to help me gain my independence with this car. Let me talk about that for a minute. So 2022 Chevy Traverse, brand new. But we have to get a new car because they won't. They is the government of Pennsylvania. There's these state agencies that we're working with. They will not invest, the money to convert it so I can drive it if it's old. So if we're going to spend that much money anyway, and used cars are a lot of the same price as new cars now anyway. So, I'm expected to have this car for 10 years. So brand new, but we have to raise $50,000 in order to, have this foundation pay for the other half of it. And this GoFundMe is for, $10,000. I mean, it's going, and I appreciate everyone who's donated, and more than you know, it's, as somebody who has never been fully independent because, this, it's crazy. Like it's a whole new world, not the Aladdin song, but it's truly, it will be a whole entire new world. Like I will be able to go to work whenever I want, where I want, I'll be able to go hang out with who I want, when I want. I will be able to go to the Power Place, which is a church near me, and, have that positive reinforcement that, the church gives me. Right. And get closer to my own relationship with God. Like, and that's why her name will be Liberty. Not after Lady Liberty, but liberty in the sense that I will have my freedom. I will have been liberated from being trapped in my house. Okay. And while that may be slightly untrue or an exaggeration, because I do have a car, however, I can't drive it and they won't help me pay for it anyway. So they won't convert that one anyway, which I wouldn't want anyway. But can I say anyway any more times? Like, geez. So car stuff happening, like insanely excited for this. This means so much to me. Everyone who's donated, everyone who's shared it, it has meant so much. And it's the culmination of this journey that I've been on with everything that I've been through has led me to this moment. And I feel like I'm truly so close to my full potential here, like so close to realizing my goal of driving. Driving unlocks a lot more than just, freedom. It unlocks career pathways. It unlocks friends. It unlocks, dating possibilities, though I'm not really looking at the moment. Sorry, that's the top of my head. But it's crazy. You're not supposed to see where life is going. You're not, because then you wouldn't feel as excited as I do right now, because if you saw where it was going, the buildup would be awful because it was coming, right? But I feel like if you don't know it's coming, you're able to like live life a little bit easier. One thing at a time, right? I mean, everything works out in the end. You just got to have faith. And that's the thing with faith. Like, it's got to be unwavering. You have to have true belief that everything that you want to have happen will. And it's all about mindset. I've said this a lot in multiple episodes. Mindset is the biggest advantage that people have. People like me, positive mindset. Some people don't have that. The world is such a negative place that it just squishes people's hopes and dreams. Sorry, I'm getting stuffed off again, but no, you can put your mind to something, you can do it. All right. So one of my friends was saying how her dreams had been, denied. Like, you should lower your dreams a little bit. You should like shoot for the stars, but not all the way up. Like, shoot for the moon, not the stars. Like, no, that's bad. Whoever was telling you that is not nice. Okay. Can't say it any other way. I've been taught that I can do anything that I put my mind to by my parents. And I'm extremely grateful for my mother for, instilling that in me. Like, I am able to do anything I put my mind to. It might be different how I do things, but I can do it, right? So I'm extremely grateful that I was never told that my dreams were too big. No one ever wants to hear that. Why would you want to hear that? You don't want to hear that your dreams are too big. You want to be encouraged. And my theory on why people discourage and squish your dreams is because they had smaller dreams, right? They, by their parents, were told that their dreams were too big. And they are then telling their children that their dreams are too big because they don't want to be, outdone by their children. And this is a theory. This is not based on any facts, but what I've noticed is that parents try to force their way of life onto their kids. Like, say your father got a steady job as an insurance salesman, right? He's going to be an insurance salesman his entire life. He's going to get paid a good amount of money, and he's going to have job security forever. But that's not necessarily what his son wants to do, right? So if your dad was an insurance salesman and he's forcing you to become an insurance salesman, but you want to be an NFL football player, what's your dad going to tell you? Like, son, unfortunately, you can't be an NFL football player. You know why? Because he wasn't. The father was never able to achieve his goals. And that's why he has to squash the dreams of the son, because he's jealous. And not even like father-son analogy, like friends, if your friend goes, I want to be an NFL player, and you go, you can't do that. How's it going to make your friend feel? Right? Like, shoot for the stars and you'll get to them. Okay. It's all about mindset. Again, for example, mindset. If your mindset is life sucks, it does. Okay. Yeah. Because in your head, it does suck. And in reality, it does suck. But there are plenty of good things to focus on that will enhance your positive mindset, right? You don't want to be negative all the time. Nobody likes that person, right? Nobody likes that person. You know why? Because they're putting out negative energy, and we as human beings can sense that, and we don't like it. We're at our core positive, spectral beings. Like, we're made of space dust. I've been saying that for a long time on this podcast. We are made of space dust. Okay. And if, we're able to sense others' energy because of this, we are all connected. Trees communicate via their roots. So why can't we communicate via, our electrical current, which we literally have? Like, we're batteries. You ever seen The Matrix? If you've seen The Matrix, then you know that we literally give off heat. Hence why we, sweat, right? We are radiant beings, right? And people just forget this. Like, this is why we can sense each other. That's why you can feel someone staring at you, because we're all connected. And people just forget this. We're all connected, right? It transcends color. It transcends gender. It transcends situations. We're all connected, and we need to stop refusing to believe that, right? You can sense everyone's energy. So we need to be putting out positive energy, right? Instead of negative energy. Because negative energy obviously is worse than positive. I mean, it's straight up, like, no one wants to be around someone who's negative all the time, because it doesn't mix. We're like I don't like that. Like, because we're at our core positive. Like when we're a baby, we're like, we're laughing and we're so cute. And like, then what happens? Middle school should have recess. You should still be a kid until you're 12. Like, seriously. That's ridiculous. You should still be a kid until you're probably 15, right? But then it's like, okay, life happens. You're not a kid anymore. You have to do these assignments on this certain deadline, and like, it's a lot of work. And yeah, it's good to have that transition period from kid to like young adult, but it's way too soon. Way too soon. Like, we're not even letting kids grow up. Like, then we're forcing them into college, and like we're just not letting people like become, or rather stay positive, their true positive self, which is them as a baby, right? It's like a dog. Dogs are happy-go-lucky all the time, nothing to worry about, because they don't have this human experience, right? They're dogs, right? They don't have to worry about money or getting a job or anything like that. We do, because we're humans and we know better, right? We've established this society that, we're supposed to be productive members of. We're supposed to do certain things, but we need to change that. We don't need to do everything the same way we've always been doing, right? And this is like a really long podcast because I'm getting into this. This is like really important to me. Like, mindset is huge. Being positive is huge. It's thinking for yourself is also huge. Like, that's a huge thing. Don't do something because somebody told you needed to. Do something because it feels good for you. Do something that you think is right and go with that. Don't do something that somebody else says is right. What's right for you is not right for everyone else, okay? And people need to realize that we're all individuals, but we're all connected, which is bizarre. Like, if we're all made of the same stuff, why are we unique? It doesn't make any sense. So it's not supposed to make sense. Life doesn't make sense, okay? Period. It doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is your roots are positive, and you're supposed, like, it's the stress, it's the society pressuring you. Like, it's like, don't carry the world on your shoulders like Atlas. Okay, you don't need to do that. Atlas isn't real. Nothing's holding the world up except gravity, probably. But gravity's not real. Like, you can't see it. Gravity's real. Come on. But mindset is hugely important. If you realize that, that we're individuals and stuff, and we can disagree and have our own beliefs and things like that, but people are annoying right now. But that's not really the point. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to think what you want to think, but be a free thinker. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. Don't say, oh, this person said this, so I kind of think that they're a credible person, so I'm going to go with what they say. It's like celebrities. Celebrities have an obligation, in my opinion, to be a positive role model in the world. Tell people how positive and great life can be instead of how awful it is. Stop telling people that they can't do things because there's some overlord above them that's keeping them down. Stop telling people that. Encourage people's dreams. Make people think that they can achieve their goals, and they will. Okay? No more of this. Okay? I'm done with it. Enough of the BS. Sick of it. So here's what people need to do. Start encouraging other people. Be better for others. Stop bringing people down if you don't even know them. Okay? Get to know people, right? Like, have a conversation with people. Learn what they like. Learn anything, And back to the be a leader. Nobody likes a follower necessarily. Like, be a leader, for example, like in the Christian faith. Like, being a leader, it's kind of funny because, like, as a Christian, you're a follower of Christ, right? But in that sense. It's like be a leader like Jesus in that sense. I'm not saying you have to be religious or whatever, but being a leader is so much better than being a follower. It's so much better. Like, you got to build people up. Don't follow other people's bad ideas. Like, if your friend's going to jump off a bridge, are you going to jump off a bridge? No. Okay. Be a leader. Say, hey, don't jump off that bridge. Instead of, go ahead, jump off the bridge. Like, you're not a real friend if that's the case. You got to be a leader in your own life. Okay. Lead yourself, right? Don't follow what this person's saying because they're popular. Okay. Think for yourself. Hugely important. So, what have we learned today? Positivity is science, and being alive is also science. Like, duh. But like, religion, science, is energy. All of it is the same thing. It all connects. We're all connected. That's another thing we learned. And, mindset is literally the most important defining factor of one's existence. If you think, again, I'm just reiterating here, if life sucks in your head, it truly sucks. But if you realize that life sucks, but you focus on the good things in life, it gets better. So have a positive mindset. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. And I know it's not going to be an instantaneous thing, but it's doable. Look at me. We also learned that it's good to compare yourself to other people's situations. Because look at me. Compare yourself to me. Okay. I'm very positive and upbeat. And there you go. That's all you need to know. Look at me. Compare yourself to me. I don't care. Do it. Say, man, Jordan has a rough life, but why does he act so positive? I don't know. Use me as an example, please. Like, it's my purpose in life. Give you perspective, be an example, be a leader, not a follower. And there you go. That's all I got to say about that in that podcast. So if you're interested in more content like this, give me a follow on social media at The Life and Lessons of Me, and continue listening to all my content, and I'll catch you on the next one.